has again the index file. So let's peek into the index file. Let me just get rid of my Notepad++ because Notepad++ keeps previous windows and things open. You can keep it here. Let's open up this in Notepad++. Open with Notepad. Let's go into JavaScript. Open with Notepad++, so we don't have to reopen these guys again and again. And if I accidentally don't close them, so open with Notepad++. All three are open now in my editor. You can open them in Visual Studio Code as you want. Again, look at the bare bones side of things. HTML file has the CSS file link and JavaScript file link. JavaScript file app.gss is located under JS folder, and CSS file is located under CSS folder with the name custom.css. So whether they are in HTML file or whether they are in their own particular folder, once they are linked, they become the part of the code, no matter what. There's a very small piece of code that you're looking here. We have the main, the container, and the color code that's going to be appearing on the screen. So color code you are seeing is a heading. Main is the division. We don't know its dimension until we go into the CSS. Under the main, we will have a container. We don't know its dimension. But under that container, we will have a heading and the button. So from the outset, it looks very simple that there will be a heading and there will be a button, both of which heading and the button have their own IDs. Main body is broken down into a main interface, which will have its own CSS. This will have its own CSS. This will have its own CSS, and I don't think so there is a CSS associated with this here. So we have all these ingredients that we need to show on the screen. So let's run the program first and see what we are up to here, so we can understand that this is what the program is all about. So if I'll run this and run this in the index.html file, let's go back. So what it is doing, it's a very small program which is changing the color or the background of your browser window. So if I click on this button, so right now as I see, this is a red color, and the combination of the code that I am seeing in RG, I think it's an RGB color. I have to check that. But the color that it has generated, the color that you are seeing for the whole background is this color number. And if I click on this button, the color changes and the new color code is generated, and the new color is generated, and now it is showing me this code. So very handy, because you will be, if you are designing a website or if you are designing a game, you will be choosing a background color information as well. So far we have what we are seeing in JavaScripts is all the small things: the timer control, the color change program that we are currently looking at, the dice one, the smaller one, the dice program, all of which are small things which are all counts towards your games, because in the games you would definitely need to change the color and the background sometimes, because your user will get bored. And in the game programming, mostly you need to keep user engaged. How you will keep the user engaged? Mostly with randomization, the random color, the random dice throw, the timer, so you can intrigue them with the, as the time is passing by, they if they don't make it in time, they will lose the game, and something of those sorts. This is a very small program. I want you to concentrate here, because now I will, once I'm done with this, I will ask you to make some changes in this program, so that your knowledge from yesterday will get incorporated here today in this program. Right now I'm clicking on this button and it's changing the color and the background. As so, there is a, what we have learned is that we have a main screen, and then we have created a container. This is the container that we have. Under the container we have a heading and we have a button. If I unlink the CSS file, which I can do as well, I can unlink the CSS file. Remember, we can unlink anything in HTML by just putting, see this, unlink my CSS file. As easy as that. If I want to unlink it, I can do this as well. I can go into the color picker, rename this file to something else. I showed you that yesterday. But I can also unlink something, or by commenting the part of the code, and this should run. So if I save it and now run my file, or actually refresh this page, my CSS file is gone. I don't know what's this asking. My CSS, my CSS file formatting is gone, and this is, I think, my normal background color. No, this wasn't my normal background color. This is not normal, without any frame, without any formatting to it. The formatting was attached to the CSS file. So let's open up the CSS file. So this shows you how important is your CSS file is in context to your program. So you can always re-enable by clicking save button. Once you click save, you go back to the file and it will bring back all the missing pieces again. It is automatically copying something, so I think it's one of the JavaScript functionality that we are using here. So as I keep clicking, the color is changing, and we can change as many colors as we can. It's no problem. But CSS was doing its job and JavaScript is doing its job. JavaScript will be referencing the button, the ID btn in its code, and probably be referring the color code ID in JavaScript. So JavaScript always like to refer objects by IDs. You can also refer them by get element by name, or get element by ID, or you can select all the HTML elements that are on that web page by using query get selector all. Remember that? So remember that for the examination point of view as well. Query get selector all, which was learned from yesterday. Let's move on to the CSS file. We are importing the Roboto form from Google set of fonts. We can download those fonts and install it on our system, But if you don't want to download them, we can go back, we can just paste the link and Google Fonts will point out to that direction. Main body will be 100% width and 100 VH, flexible, center justify. So this main part will be coming in here. If I'm gonna, okay, just I wanted to see a couple of things as well so you can understand it as well. I want to see, because I haven't done this, commenting in CSS code. So I can just do a comment in CSS code and see one by one what is going to happen. So let's comment this section out. We know that is being referenced here. This class main is referenced here. But let's say I said to my CSS file, I'm not going to declare it. So I temporarily disable it and see what's impact it has on my file. So if I'll run this one, see, it is now the main is not moved. Main was moving it to the center. And let's look at that, what's written in the main code. It is justified in the center and the center content. Align items all to the center. Let's open this up and put this into out of context. So you have to do a lot of things like this to understand what is happening where. Comment out the part of the code that you wanted to see, what are the behavioral changes that will happen if you remove that. So now if I remove that and click on F5 again, refresh my web page again, now you see that the button is there, the heading is there, but the white frame is gone. So it means in the container it was white frame, aligned center, the font size that is given to it is 40 pixel, border radius, the curve on the border of that square is showing out to be border radius had to be at 10 pixels. So if you want to change it to 5 pixel, the curve will sharpen a little bit more instead of having more curvy. So these are what you see and what you get kind of thing. You have to change all these to check what happens if you change certain parameters. Now the button itself. Button itself is a black background with white text on it. We can see that. White background and the black, white color and the black background. The width is this much. Margin from the top is 5 pixel and all this. So CSS, your client-side scripting knowledge is coming in this course. So this is your CSS, everything. We are doing CSS for a long time now. Seems like we are doing it third or fourth program right now. Next program will be our final final JavaScript program is. But here we have learned about this. Now let's move on to the app.js file. So we know there are these many colors that are available in the palettes of the system, not just RGB. What kind of color combination that they are asking. Yeah. So out of yeah, so it will generate the random number, the random code, the random number between 0 and this number, one less than this actually. So these are the all possible combination. Once that code is generated, we need to convert that code into a hexadecimal. Okay, so it will convert into a hexadecimal. That's why it is plus and then random number dot to string. So whatever the code is generated, we need to convert into a string. I have to figure out why it is 16, but just keep in mind, I think there's a oh, I get it. I think why it is 16, 2 raised power 16. I think I have to check that. No, this is 65535. Okay. So the whatever the color code is generated out of these, I think million colors. I think this is the combination of these are the hex code. So we need to put that into a hex code with the hash symbol. And what happens is that once that random code is generated, we will put that as a background color of the document. So this HTML, remember when you start writing the code of HTML, this is a document, doc type HTML. So you are actually changing the color of the document body. Dot style, dot background is the random color. Document dot get element by ID, inner text of which one? Color code. What is that color code pertains to? That was our heading H2. If you go back and look at it, H2 is referred by its ID color code. We are referring that in JavaScript saying get element by ID, the color code, change the inner text of it, and put the text that is being generated for the color code. And then this is not necessary. Navigator.clipboard.write text. What this is doing is essentially when I refresh this, every time it is generating this on the side of the client, saying that this color code that is being generated, I have copied it to your clipboard just for your information. If I don't need that, clipboard will remain empty. So if I look at my clipboard right now and I'll say Control V, here is that code that is right now currently generated. So this navigator.clipboard is actually automatically filling up or replacing the value on my clipboard automatically, which I probably want or don't want. I can just comment this out by double clicking on it, by putting the double slash on it. Now, what should happen each time when the button is pressed? So when the button is pressed, you are calling that button and you are adding the event listener. Remember that event listener that I showed you yesterday, and actually in the Subway Surfer program as well? That add event listener will listen to that event that is happening on the button. This is the text that will stay on that button, and get color method is called. When the get color method is called, this whole function will be called automatically, which is going out, selecting the color, converting that into a hex, and then putting it into the document's background, and then also updating the inner text with the code. So this is not showing any code because this is just applying it to the background color. But I wanted to show what is the code in the hexadecimal. So I wanted to show the text, and to show it as a text, I will just use it inside the text property. When I use that same random code to the background, it will be applied to the background color of the document itself. So that was my initial call. When you will run the program, it will automatically be called. But this method has to be also be called multiple times when you press the button. So all three files I have just explained to you. What are those three files? Index, CSS, and the JavaScript file. Small pieces of code. Not too big, not too heavy. So this covers my random color program explanation. I will let you digest this program for the next 5 minutes. Go over, look at it, what's happening here. Go over and look at your countdown program as well, because I would like to do something on this page to be done with the logic of countdown. Um, with the logic of countdown. So I will let you know after that, but I want you to closely look at countdown and the random color program both together. So I will give you 5 to 10 minutes here. Download those programs, save link as, and if you want to open them, you can open all of them as a text file in Notepad++, or you can add them, open them in Visual Studio Code. Never mind, wherever you want to open it. All right. So we now have seen that we are doing this code today, which talks about the color. So these are two small programs that we looked at, the countdown program and this click me button, where when you click it, it changes the color with the help of JavaScript. It made my face all red right now. Looks like it. Yeah. But anyways, whatever the case may be, uh, what I want you to do in this code, make a small change. The change that I want is, instead of this click me button, whether you want to leave it here or keep it, I want to change the color of the document automatically after 5 seconds. So I want to incorporate the logic from the countdown timer, where we have used a function which was changing the one of the text box every second to drop the timer one down, one down, one down, right? But I don't want that. What I want you to take the logic from there, understand that logic, what function is being used there, and incorporate in this program that your web page automatically changes the color without having to click this button, automatically changes the color to the next random color after every 5 seconds. So what is that you have to make change in this JavaScript code? Just the JavaScript code. I don't want you to change any look and feel. I don't want to change you any CSS file. More importantly, JavaScript file is the one that you need to be changing. What is the change that you will incorporate in the function which is triggering when you are clicking this button? It should not work on trick. It should continue to work while you click on the button, but I don't want that. What I want you to do is, after every 5 seconds, change the color of this web page. Can you incorporate that into the JavaScript code? So look at that code of the countdown timer, very small piece of code that you have to look at what function is being called, that interval function being called. In the interval, call the, I'm not going to give you all the hints here. So I want you to just first investigate that. Can you do that? All right, so what do you guys think? You want me to help and intervene and do that, or you guys can do it? Oh, I have to do it. Okay, I didn't realize that I have to do it. I was relaxing. I'll try that out. Okay, let's see that. This is my countdown one. So let me put that in here because I deleted it already from yesterday. So it's here. So this is my color picker. So one is my color picker and the other one is countdown. So let's look at a little bit of code, what we did in countdown, and the JavaScript is the important part. Let's open that up as well. Open that in Notepad. So this app.js is for the one we are learning today, and this app.js is one from yesterday. So definitely I will need to call this function, set interval function. So I'll just copy this. And the set interval function is calling which function? Clock function. Well, that's okay for now. I'll just go ahead, and I'm going to put this here. And I will gonna change this as I promised after 5 seconds. So I will have to change it to 5000. And how, instead of clock, I will need to call the get color function. Copy that, paste it in here. Okay, so now when my program is started, this initial call will be happening, and after 5 seconds, this call will be happening. So I'll save that up. Is that about it that I need to change? Yes, because the function, regardless whatever the function that I'm calling, obviously I cannot call the clock function because clock has all the different ingredients from the previous program. So obviously clock function will not be called. Which function will be called? The get color functions, because the get color function is doing the job for us for getting the color. What else if we need to incorporate? I don't think so anything else. And this is again the initial call for the clock function. Now I'm going to save my, this is saved. I can get rid of this. I just use this for the copying and pasting purposes. Set interval, call this get color function. File is saved. I'm going to go back here. In the color picker, go to the index. And I'll just get rid of it. So without even clicking the button, it is changing the color after every 5 seconds. Isn't it nice that we have incorporated the logic from the, so this is what you need to do as you are learning smaller things. See what you have done in the past. Can you challenge yourself to incorporate it here? Because if you understand that code, then you can copy and paste it here and know which part of the code is relevant and which part of the code is irrelevant, so you are not changing that. So now this button is also working. Let it change the color, and I can immediately change the color afterwards 5 times after I'm clicking. But at the same time, clock is also running. So whatever color you change will not last as long as even 5 minutes, because if you change it, the clock function is gonna call no matter what after every 5 seconds anyways. And this annoying message is coming every time because this part is calling this. So I can comment this out. That's not the problem. Now add this at the event. It is going to happen at the interval of 5 seconds. It's going to happen. I can change it to 10 seconds. I can change it to whatever, how many seconds I want to make it a delay. Let's do one more challenge task. I don't know. I haven't done that myself, and I don't know. It may take me some time to fully accomplish that task. But I want to show a timer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change color. Again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change color. So change color is happening, but I wanted to display in a text box 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want that. So can you incorporate that? I only wanted to see only one thing, just the seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know how you will do that. I'm just thinking right now. You will have to update the inner HTML of some item. You need to incorporate one HTML item, or you can change the inner HTML of this color code. That's okay. I'm okay with that. So in the clock function, just set up a random time higher than this, higher than that, and then after every 5 seconds, just show that. How you will gonna do that? Think about it. And I'm also thinking about it. So you can start by taking a very high web, uh, maybe a day tomorrow or something like that as an end date, and then subtract it. Get all the attributes like days, hours, minutes, and seconds. And that's the last part that I'm interested in, the seconds. After every 5 seconds, you need to do something. So I'm also thinking out loud right now. Changing the color part was done. यार नीचे का कमरा साफ कर दो क्लास हो रही है क्या वो नीचे ओके नीचे का कमरा साफ कर दो Okay, how would you go about doing this one? I'm not sure. I will not invent all the ideas. You have to come and show me. I'm leaving some part to you, so what do you think? I'm thinking out so many opportunities now coming out of these kind of programs that we are doing. There's an opportunity to make something else, some other things from this program. You can do so many things. Button is changing it for you. 5 seconds, it's changing it for you. You are. I'm thinking out one thought process that came in my mind is just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then the color changes. You can also say that when you, I'm just thinking, but you don't have to necessarily do that. But again, one additional thing in the JavaScript that you can do, click on the button, ask the user, are you sure you want to change the color? Once users say yes, then it will change the color. If the user say no, it won't change the color. So think of it. What comes up on the JavaScript to show, are you sure you want to change? It looks like an alert box, but alert box just give you the information. You can use confirm box that comes in JavaScript to confirm that. And for that, you can look at the example of the confirm box in JavaScript on W3 School. So once the user will press change me, it will ask that, are you sure you want to change it? It will say yes, then it will change. If it says no, color stays the same. Confirm box is used. So you can look at that example. But right now, challenge is think about how to make a countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, change. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, change. That kind of a trick in your program. Okay, so I will let you think about it. I'm not going to stay here for this solution, but there are so many opportunities, as I said. I can show you that I was looking at this code a little bit while showing you if you have a confirmation box that will come up and show you a button, press a button. So on that dialog box will appear in front of your screen and shows press a button. True is equals to true, and then text you press OK. If you press OK, it will show you this text. If the button is pressed other than cancel, which is other than OK, then it will be false, and then it will go into the cancel button. It will not do anything. So these kind of logics that you can find, but incorporating those logics is your challenge. You will find that this is how it's being done. You have to make up all the combinations that you're seeing on different websites might not be pertaining exact same solution that you are looking for your solution, but you will find some solutions that are relevant to you. So I will not get stuck here. I'm just giving you a brain teaser for this one that you can have